So let's kind of break into talking about how the Rubik's Cube works and kind of what we have to do to solve it. So right here, this is called notation. These are various numbers, letters, and codes. If you're going to learn how to solve a Rubik's Cube, you got to learn the notation. So I'm just going to scramble it here by following the notations. It tells me what moves to do. So R2, for example, is rotate the right side clockwise twice. So I just did that. That's kind of the basics of what it is. There's back inverted. The little prime stands for counterclockwise, but it seems complex in like a foreign language, but once you learn how to do it, you can actually be quite quick. So here I'm going to kind of go over a few different examples of different types of solves. So the first solve that we're going to go by is layer by layer. So to do layer by layer, we're going to build the white cross. That's the first step for almost every single 3x3 solving method. Build the white cross, and then we're going to go layer by layer building the Rubik's Cube. You don't really solve sides, you solve layers. So I'm going to build a white cross. So here's a green piece. This is the green-white piece. It's going to go here. Boom. We put it there. This is the blue-white piece. It needs to go here. So if we rotate the face, the front face, we can see that it lines up. Boom. Now that's in the right spot. Let's get the red one. Let's get the orange one. Okay. So now I have a white. Let me be a little bit more clear and show you this is the white cross. So the second step, if we're building layer by layer, is we got to solve the pieces, the little corner pieces here. So if we look for this space, we're looking for a orange, blue, white corner. It's right here. So now we're going to insert this corner into this spot. So I can rotate this layer to open the front slot, put it in, and then turn it down, and there you go. Now it's in its correct spot. You can see that it's all lined up. So then, for over here, for example, I need a red, green, white corner. So here's a red, green, white corner. We're going to lift it up and insert it. Great. Last one, or second to last one, we have red, white, blue. Red, white, blue. Or red, white, blue? Are you kidding me? White, red, blue. So we're going to lift it up and insert it in there. So that's good to go. And now for this last piece, let's say instead of being like horizontal, like this is, where the corner is on one of these two sides, let's say it's vertical. So it's like up here. So what you would do for that instead is you can follow an algorithm where it's basically you open up the slot, and when we open up the slot, you can see that this piece is going to be rotated this way. We're going to rotate it back kind of vertically like that. So we're going to open up the slot, insert it, bring it down. Open up the slot, insert a different corner, bring it down. And now we can see it's horizontal. And now, if we were to try to move this face here to insert this corner, we can see that it wouldn't work. So there's a couple different ways that you can do that. No, Siri, please stop. So you can see that there's a couple different ways that we can do this. But rotating this is not really in the cards for us. What I like to do is I like to clear this area because this is the face that has to turn to open the slot. So I like to clear it out of that spot, so now it's over here on this side, and then when I lift this up, it's unaffected. All I have to do is slide it in, and we're good to go. The other way is called a sledgehammer. It's a slightly more complex move, but basically you're going to put it in the correct place. So as you can see, by rotating this down, this is the correct place for it, but we're missing this bar here. So if I move this slot out of the way now, as you can see, boom, now this whole part lined up, we're good to go. If I bring this back, and I replace it, we're good. So that's called a sledgehammer. I'll show you it again. It goes like this. Boom, 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 boom. And then there you go, it's in place. You can solve this step intuitively, but I personally recommend going online and learning how to do it there. But I learned it intuitively. I learned by sitting there and just playing with the cube. The next part we're going to do an algorithm. This is part that you have to learn online. Or you can try to learn it on your own. It's just a lot harder and more frustrating. Basically, we're looking to solve this middle layer here. So for example, this is a blue-red. We need a blue-red here. We need an orange-blue here, and a orange-green here, and a red-green here. So for example, here's a red-green. This is the edge that goes here. I'm going to use an algorithm, which looks like this. And now it's in place. Same if we do this. Orange, blue here, we're going to go and put it here. It's just the same thing, but with the other hand. I'll do it even slower for you, putting it over here. So as you can see, if you get going really fast, you can do it like this. Then it's in. But we won't be going that fast. I'll show you once again. This is the fast way. It's really quick. So the next step is we're going to get a last layer solved. Now there's a couple ways to do this. The way that I personally learned was one of the most complex ways, unnecessarily complex, the way that I learned it first. But the second way I learned was much easier. Similar to how we started with a white cross on the bottom, we're going to try to get a yellow cross on top. So once again, this is going to involve learning algorithms. I'm sorry, it's part of the game. But basically what we need to do is we need to create a cross up top. So I know that if I put any sort of corner edge pieces in my bottom right hand corner and I do the algorithm, it's going to give me a bar. This bar can then be converted into a cross by doing the same algorithm by putting it horizontal. So now you can see I have a cross. If you ignore these two pieces, you can see, boom, there's the cross. So now, once again, there's more algorithms. We need to shift these pieces around so that they match. So as you can see, this piece is correct, but this piece isn't, this piece isn't, and this piece isn't, because they don't match, right? So I need to figure out which way these need to rotate, and depending on which way they need to rotate, I have an algorithm memorized for that. So in this case, this piece, this yellow-blue needs to go into this yellow-blue slot. This needs to go over here. This white or yellow-red needs to go to this red spot. This guy needs to come over here. So instead, I'm going to do this guy, I'm going to do this algorithm, and boom, now they're all in line, right? Which that's great. Now onto the final step. We need to get these corners in the correct spot, just like we did down here. But we're not going to worry about their orientation yet. So, for example, I would check for one of the corners that's correct, or in the correct spot, but none of these corners are in the correct spot. So I'm just going to do the algorithm anyway, and that should put one of them, yep, see, this one's correct. Now it might look like this sometimes. This might be the correct orientation, but for this case, it just happened that we got lucky and this guy's face up. So now what I need to do is figure out which way the corners need to rotate. This yellow, green, red needs to go into this yellow, green, red slot where this guy is. This guy needs to go here. This guy needs to go here. I believe the pattern for that is this. If not, guess what? We'll just do it again. Nope, I was right. Okay, so as you can see, we have two pieces left. And the cube's done. So this is the easiest last step ever. All you have to do is this over and over and over again until that piece is correct. And now we do it again. It's R-I-D-I-R-D, 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 R-I-D-I-R-D. And as you can see, the cube is solved. Now that's the beginner way to do it. Next I'm going to show you the advanced way, and I'm just going to go really fast because honestly, you need to look up your own video. I'm just trying to give you an idea of kind of how this works. All right, so this next way that I learned how to do it, I learned in middle school when I was probably 13 years old. It's called CFOP. So the way that you do this is instead of building layer by layer, we're going to build the white cross just like we did, and then we're going to build two layers at the same time, and then we're going to do the last layer in a different way that's a little bit more complex. These steps involve F2L, or first two layers, OLL, orient last layer, and PLL, which is permute last layer. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. But this is the main method that I use to solve, and this is the method that some of the fastest people on the planet use. They're just way better than it, or at it than me, to be honest. So the first step is going to be creating that white cross. See if you can do this on your own. Just try creating a white cross on a Rubik's Cube, and see if you can get all the matches, or all the colors to match in the correct spaces. So for example, the cross is only ever 8 moves away, I think. That's like one of the weird facts about the Rubik's Cube, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'm trying to find the most efficient solution here, and it's taking quite a long time, but I think I found one. So sometimes, you see, because I know the colors and the way that they go, like I know that orange is to the right of green, and red is to the left of green, I know that if I put this green-orange piece here, we're good to go, and then the red is opposite orange, so I can put that there, and then those are all in line, and all I have to do is rotate once, and you see all these colors are good to go. And my blue is an easy insert, that's just an F2. And then we get, you know, our beautiful white cross. So now, while I'm solving that, while my fingers are doing the work, because I've already planned all those steps in inspection, I know that I paired this setup here. So basically, this is a combination that needs to fit right here. And I kind of, you know, we would normally put this piece in first, and then we'd put the edge in. But in this case, if we just do the same step, we actually get the edge and the corner at the same time. So it's a matter of pairing up edges and corners. So right here, I have an edge and a corner. I have an edge here. I have its corresponding corner here. I know that that puts them in a line where if I rotate them this way, it's going to put it in. So boom, edge corner. Here we go. This one's a little bit of a faster one. So this is throwing them in. So this guy's a pretty easy one. Boom. Now they're in this kind of position. Boom. Done. These two opposite colors, rotate down, paired up, put it in. There you go, insert. Now for the next step, I have 2-look OLL, sort of, and then full PLL. So this is like, there are 52 different combinations for this top face here that are possible. And then to memorize OLL, to orient, to turn all of these yellow pieces and face them upwards, you have to memorize a specific algorithm for each one of those different cases. I have about 35 or 40 of them, 30 or 40 out of the 50 memorized. So like for example, I know this one, it's just this. And I actually got a PLL skip. That's unfortunate. Okay, let's just kind of mess it up and get it back to a state that I know. Okay, so for example, this one. It's another one I know. So this one would be this. See, and then we have to permute these last. After we orient, we have to permute. But I'll show you what it's like if it's one that I don't know. Here we go. Okay. So here's one that I don't know. So the old algorithm for this would be to rotate just the front layer. But if I have no bars, if I don't have a crossbar here, I can skip doing this algorithm twice by just taking a big slice with 2 of the layers and doing the algorithm. Then I get this guy. Which I know, but we're going to pretend I don't for the sake of this video. So now that I have this crossbar, I do the algorithm one more time. And then boom. There are I think 8 separate cases that you can get with a yellow cross, and they're all very easy to memorize. This one is called anti-soon. So soon is where S-U-N-E is where this corner is facing this way. In this case, it's this way. So that means I know how to do it. So I orient this side here, and I do a soon. So now we get to permute last layer. There are around 22 different cases for this, and I have each single one of them memorized. This one's very simple and fast. It's an easy rotation here, so I just rotate the centers, and then boom, you're done. So that you can see why this is really fast. Let me show you like another one that's quite quick. This one is like each individual center layer is different, each individual little center guy, and this one's just, and then there's a T-perm. The T-perm looks like this, T-permutation. So as you can see, there's kind of forms of T, the pieces that are misshaped. And that one's very, very quick. I mean, there's a bunch of them, but I'm not going to go into that. So really the advanced method you have to go and learn on your own. And there's even more advanced methods where you're learning 300-400 algorithms, 300 or 400 different cases. I'm not that advanced. And I average around sub 20, which is a pretty good average. It's not bad. That's like a big barrier people hit is 20 seconds. Using beginner method, and a good average time is like a minute. You can get even faster than that though once you learn a little bit of tricks. And eventually there are guys that use the same method that I do, like this 2-look kind of OLL, and they have times in the 10s. They're way faster than me. This website is called CS Timer. It's a really great website. As you can see on this section, I have 2,000 solves. So this is from my time working at the village where I would want to de-stress, or I'm chilling at school and I want to just, take some time to do some solves. It is analytics, so you can see my graph, my average of 5, average of 12 times. And you can see what's really interesting is like the learning progression. I used to average around 35 seconds, slowly got it down to around 20, sub 20-ish. But cubing is also a relatively cheap hobby. This is again 356XS? I don't know. It's really fancy. It's got magnets in it, so it auto-aligns the layer when you turn it, which is really nice. But you can get really great 3x3 Rubik's Cubes for like $10 at a website like The Cubicle. The bigger you go, the more expensive it'll get. So for example, this 4x4, you can get them cheap. You can get them for like $20, but this is another GAN puzzle. It's got magnets in it, and this was like really expensive. This is like 40 or 50 bucks. But you don't even have to spend that much because you can get high quality cubes for cheap. You don't have to spend and get all the magnets. This one is a Cubicle Premium. So Cubicle is a website you can order cubes from. And so it has magnets inside every layer, which makes doing algorithms like this one way easier because all the middle layers stick together. You see what I'm saying? Whereas with other cubes, you would have to get very lucky, or you'd have to have specific finger placement to get that turn just correct. But, you know, my 5x5 time definitely decreased after I got better cubes, but cubing overall is a pretty cheap hobby. There's competitions you can go to that are a lot of fun. I used to compete all the time in middle school. Almost competed this year, but it got canceled, which is kind of sad. But yeah, so if you guys ever have any questions about cubing, feel free to hit me up on my social media accounts. I'd be happy to answer. But I'd encourage you to look up, there are plenty of videos from plenty of family-friendly YouTube channels that have just awesome content on how to solve a Rubik's Cube. You don't even need the internet. You can print out the steps. It's just a really cool, fun puzzle. You know, it's a cool little skill that I have. It's kind of like a party trick in a way. I think that's pretty much it. So I just want to thank all you guys for watching. I appreciate all the comments and all the shares and all the stuff that you guys are sending in. It's really fun to watch. And I just appreciate you guys giving your time for this video. If you're interested at all, hit me up on social media. We can talk about it. Yeah, I hope you guys have a great day.